All right, let me ask you something real. Have you ever sat there, knowing exactly what you need to do, and still not started? Homework open, laptop on, time passing, and your brain goes, I'll start in 5 minutes. But once you finally start, it's not that bad. Sometimes it's even smooth. So why does starting feel 10 times harder than doing? That's what we're breaking down today. And trust me, this isn't a motivation problem, it's a brain problem. I used to think I was lazy. Every time I delayed starting something important, I told myself, wow, I have no discipline. Studying felt impossible. Working out felt impossible. Even replying to messages felt heavy. But here's the weird part. Once I actually began, I could keep going. That contradiction messed with me. If I'm lazy, why can I work once I start? That question led me to the truth, and it changed how I see productivity forever. Here's the core idea. Starting is hard because your brain hates uncertainty. Doing is easier because the uncertainty is gone. When you haven't started yet, your brain doesn't know how hard it'll be, how long it'll take, whether you'll fail, whether it'll feel boring. So it fills in the gaps with fear. That's not weakness. That's survival wiring. Your brain evolved to save energy and avoid risk. Starting feels like risk. Think about school for a second. Before studying, your brain imagines, this will take hours. I won't understand anything. I'm already behind. But once you read the first page, or solve the first problem, the threat drops. Your brain goes, oh, this is manageable. Same task, different mental state. Here's something most people never realize. Your brain has two modes, anticipation mode and execution mode. Anticipation mode is emotional, dramatic, loud. Execution mode is quieter, focused, practical. The problem? Most people quit while still in anticipation mode. They judge the task before the brain switches gears. That's why starting feels unbearable. Now let's talk about brain growth. Real brain growth. Not size, not IQ. I'm talking about neural efficiency. Every time you start something despite resistance, your brain builds a shortcut. A faster path from intention to action. That's how focus gets stronger over time. Avoiding starts does the opposite. It teaches your brain that discomfort equals danger. So the resistance grows. And if you're a student or young adult, this hits harder because your brain is still developing. The part responsible for planning and impulse control isn't fully online yet. So starting requires more effort than it does for older adults. That's not an excuse. That's context. And with the right strategy, you can actually train your brain faster than you think. Here's the mistake almost everyone makes. They try to start at full intensity, full focus, full discipline, full plan. That's like trying to lift the heaviest weight first. Of course your brain resists. So let's fix that. Step 1. Shrink the start until it feels stupidly easy. Not study biology. Instead, open the book. Read one paragraph. Underline one sentence. Your brain doesn't resist small starts. Why? Because the risk feels low. But once you begin, momentum kicks in. And momentum is powerful. This is important. Motivation follows action, not the other way around. Waiting to feel ready is the trap. Step 2. Remove choice from the start. Decision-making drains mental energy. So if you ask yourself, should I start now or later? Your brain will always choose later. Instead, pre-decide. Same place, same time, same first action. No debate. The less you think, the easier starting becomes. That's brain efficiency again. Step 3. Use a physical trigger. Your brain responds better to actions than thoughts. So create a trigger. Sitting at a specific desk. Putting headphones on. Opening one specific app. Do the same trigger every time. Eventually, your brain associates that action with focus. That's how habits form without force. Now let's address burnout. Because sometimes starting feels hard not because you're lazy, but because you're exhausted. Mental fatigue makes anticipation mode louder. Everything feels heavier. If that's you, hear this. Rest is not avoidance. Avoidance is rest without intention. Real recovery actually makes starting easier tomorrow. That's how you protect long-term brain health. Here's a reframe that helped me a lot. You don't need to finish. You just need to begin. Finishing requires energy. Beginning requires permission. Permission to be imperfect. Permission to be slow. Permission to stop if needed. Once you give that permission, your brain relaxes. And relaxed brains work better. Another quiet truth. Starting rewires your identity. Every time you begin despite resistance, your brain updates its self-image. From, I procrastinate, to, I can start even when it's hard. That shift changes everything. Confidence isn't a feeling. It's a memory bank of small wins. So next time you're stuck, don't ask, how do I finish this? Ask, what's the smallest possible start? Then do just that. Nothing more. Let momentum do the rest. Let's bring this home. Starting feels harder than doing because your brain is guessing the pain. Once you begin, the guessing stops. The fear quiets down. The task shrinks. Your focus improves. That's not magic. That's neuroscience. So try this tonight. Pick one thing you've been avoiding. Make the start tiny. Remove the decision. Trigger the action. Just begin. Not perfectly, not impressively, just honestly. Your brain will meet you halfway. Let's build stronger minds. One small start at a time. We've got this.